Arctic Monkeys is back with a brand new album and a brand new track that I'm going to react to. It's felt like such a long time ago since their last album came out. I think it was 2018, but of course so much has happened since then. And I don't know, I think since starting these reviews when I did in 2017 now, 5 years, which is insane to think. Yeah, just anything that came out before like 2020 feels like such a long time ago. Even though it isn't, it's not that long really. It's only 4 years or even 3 years. 5 years isn't that long really either, but it is long at the same time. It's a weird one. I suppose in the music world though, it is pretty long to leave a gap of 4 years since your last album, because the music industry really pushes consistency, and a lot of artists these days are really pushing to drop as much music as they possibly can in a short span of time. Arctic Monkeys don't work like that though, and I respect it. I think it's probably time I go back to their more recent album though to see if it has grown on me, because I liked aspects of it, but it, as a whole thing, I found it a bit of a chore to sit through, I guess. That was my issue with the album at the time, but time's passed and maybe, you know, I appreciate it more now. So there'd better be a Mirrorball. There'd better be. Let's go. Press play. Hang on. What is going on? Ah.
That there's a Mirrorball. Happy time. So do you wanna walk into the car? Can we please be absolutely sure?
That was pretty. That was pretty. I liked the strings and the way it started to really blemish and become quite orchestral towards the end. I liked that a lot. It definitely felt very like old noirish type stuff, very classical, very taking it back to kind of like the traditional sounds of music, maybe even like as early as the 50s, honestly. If you listen to some 50s albums, so the instrumental on this track kind of reminded me of that sort of era of music. You can see that they want to commit to this style a little bit more now. I think it seems to be the way forward. There are aspects of this style that I like I said with their last album, but I think just the lack of progression, I think, is what's missing. I think this song particularly probably could have done with that really stunning crescendo at one point or another. I just feel like the vocals end up sounding a bit flat because he kind of keeps singing in the same way for most of the track. I just feel like this style of music is good, and there's a potential for it, but I just feel like they're not quite hitting it out the park. I just feel like they're not quite nailing it, and I'm not sure what it is that they're not getting. But that's why I'm not like blown away coming out of this track, and I wasn't blown away from their last album too. Like, I'm so for this style, but there's just like a missing piece, and I just can't quite pinpoint what it is. Like, maybe it is just a bit more of a fuller instrumental, because like I say, when those strings came in, it sounded really lovely and there was a prettiness to the song, but there's also just something a bit like white bread about what they're doing as well. Like, there's so much potential for what they could do, and yet it ends up just being a bit vanilla. But there's some really good lines coming through. I mean, the very Alex Turner fashion of things like "don't get emotional, that ain't like you," "yesterday's still leaking through the roof, that's nothing new." I like that idea of yesterday still leaking through the roof, that kind of like aftermath of an argument or something like that. That's just still ever present. I like that idea. There's some great lines as well where he comes through with, "I throw the rose tint back on the exploded view." That's a great line. So yeah, there's lots to like about this, but it just isn't wowing me. There's just something not there. Like I say, a bit white bread, add a bit of flavour to it. You know what I mean? But potentially this could be something that I really love, but we shall see. Again, maybe will grow on me, and maybe I'm, you know, going to say something that doesn't end up being very evergreen on this channel, because I could change my opinion. You know, it might be that I say this now and in a month's time I'm like, oh no, I actually love this now. There's something about that there's potential with. I'm just not sure, but it's a good track, I'll give it that. I just don't know if it's a great one, and that's where I'm at. Let me know your thoughts though. Would love to see what you think. I'm gonna keep listening to this, see if my opinion changes. Thank you for watching as always. Please let me know what you think in the comments. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and goodbye.